The president yesterday slammed the Labour over the agitation and threats over strike and protests, saying they're not the only voice of the people of Nigeria. Tonight we'll be looking at the MOU and the way forward between the Tinubu government and Labour unions. And tonight our attention will also be in what is happening in APC in Benue State and some of the issues that have now suddenly made the APC in Benue State turn into the house of commotion. Hello everyone, welcome to this Friday edition of Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye here in Abuja. Tonight, our attention two major issues, actually. One, the fact that the president has said the Labour and the manner in which they've conducted themselves, he seems not to be happy about it. Tonight, we'll be dissecting some of the issues relating to the MOU signed by both parties. Where did things go wrong? Do the Labour unions have the right to protest and go on the street? And what exactly are the grievances of the Tinubu government? Prof, I'll take you also to Benue State and what's happening in the APC. You could see some of the pictures earlier, how members of the party had tear gas shot at them to disperse them, in what has become a really sorry situation in the APC in Benue State. What is the position of Governor? I said earlier in this matter, we'll be dissecting all of these issues for you, but for now, let's take a moment and watch some of your political roundup stories.
The first draft report of the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution will be ready in August 2025. That is according to the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who disclosed these at a news conference held at the instance of the House Committee on Constitution Review. The committee, at its inauguration on Monday, February 26, 2024, gave a 24-month timeline for the conclusion of the exercise. Some of the thematic areas that the committee is hoping to receive memorandum include residency and engineering provisions, immunity, state creation, federal structure and power devolution, local government autonomy, state police, judicial reforms, electoral reforms, among others. The Kogi State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja has adjourned the hearing in the petition filed by the Social Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Mr. Muritala Ajaka, who is challenging the election of Usman Ododo as the governor of Kogi State in the November 11, 2023 governorship election in the state. The chairman of the three-member panel, Justice Yusuf Brenin Kudu, made the adjournment after counsel for the petitioners identified the number of BVS machines used in some local government areas of Kogi State. After admitting the total number of BVS machines in a few local government areas, the tribunal chairman adjourned to March 4 for continuation of hearing. And ahead of the 2024 governorship election in Edo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced a period of 20 days for political parties to upload the personal particulars from EC9 and names and lists of nominated candidates from EC9B of their candidates to the Commission's portal. According to a statement by the National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Sam Olumekun, the portal will be open at 9 a.m. on Monday, 4th March 2024 and will be shut down at 6 p.m. on Sunday, 24th March 2024. The All Progressives Congress Professionals Forum is calling on state governors to formulate policies on food security by channeling a large portion of their increased federal allocations to food production, transportation, and other intervention purposes to ameliorate the conditions of the people in their respective states. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the chairman of the group and the former governor of Bauchi State, Mr. Isa Yuguda, tasked state governors to invest more in agriculture, even as they work with the federal government to enhance the capacity of farmers and forest rangers to protect farmlands. The group also commended the steps taken by the President Tinubu to end the fuel subsidy regime and unify the foreign exchange rates. Meanwhile, the coalition of Southeast APC support groups are calling on the federal government to ensure that the white paper on the Orasaye report recommending the measure of some government agencies is fully implemented without prejudice. At a news conference in Abuja, the convener of the group, Mr. Francis Okeke, says with the current economic downturn across the globe, any policy, step, or initiative geared towards reducing the cost of governance is a welcome development. Traditional rulers across the southwestern state of Nigeria have held a security summit where they deliberate on boosting and protecting the lives of their subjects against attacks from criminal invaders. The summit, convened by the Oni of Ile-Ife, Obadeye Ogunwusi, was held at Ile-Ife, Osun State. In a communique issued at the end of the summit, the traditional rulers called for the strong support for the administration of President Bola Tinubu in its effort to restructure the country.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. So tonight, I'll first and foremost take you to Benue State. Before tonight, I'll be speaking with a leader of the labor, and we'll be looking at what exactly is going on, the response to what President Tinubu said, the MOU. How far the government said they've implemented between 85 to 90%. That's what the minister told us. What is the position of the labor? Why did TUC not join NLC? Why did NLC go on that protest? The position of the president and what he said. All of those will be unpacking for you tonight. But first, let me take you to Benue State. It does look like there is a distinct factionalization of the All Progressives Congress in Benue State, which has led to some ugly incidents happening, to the point that police is based on the directive of the governor. There is a ban on any further political gathering, and this has escalated so badly. So it doesn't look like there is an end in sight in what has become an intra-party crisis rocking the APC in Benue State. That today, policemen shot tear gas to the anti-Austin Agada faction, who are one of those who are opposed to the position of Governor Earlier in the state. There are those who believe that Governor Earlier has a faction that is loyal to him, which is the Omakolo faction, claiming loyalty to Governor Earlier, and Mr. Agada has his own loyalty linked to Senator Akume. Basically, in Benue State, as we speak, there is a factionalization and is divided the APC members along these lines. Well, today on the streets of Makurdi, these are the kind of pictures that you will perhaps see following a letter written by the Chief of Staff to Governor Ison Elia, conveying the governor's instruction to the Commissioner of Police, banning all political activities in the state indefinitely, allegedly prevalent insecurity occasioned by influx of herdsmen. According to them, the police authority in Benue State followed up the letter with a directive to the state chapter of the APC, led by Mr. Austin Agada faction, not to hold its planned state executive committee meeting with some key party officials. Despite all of this, the state chapter of the party, led by Mr. Agada, which is known to be loyal to the secretary to the government of the federation, went ahead to arrange for the meeting, and supporters of Governor Elia moved to the area to block the road leading to the party with inscriptions of "No Elia, No Benue Solidarity" chant. At about 3 p.m. today, the state chairman, Mr. Austin Agada, arrived with a tensed atmosphere wading through the crowd towards the party secretariat when the anti-Agada supporters descended on him, prompting the police to shoot into the air and unleash tear gas on the crowd to disperse the rioting crowd. Normalcy, we understand, has since been restored. Let's get some insight into what has become a messy situation right there in the camp of the APC. I'm being joined by Mr. Tesokula, who is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State. He joins us virtually from Makurdi. Thank you so much, Mr. Kula, for joining us tonight on the program.
It's my pleasure. You are welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Dan Hohuma will be joining us, who is also the Publicity Secretary, perhaps also lawyer to the Agada side of the divide. Give us an understanding, because there are those who have criticized your principle about the manner in which things are being handled in the APC. Why is your principle at loggerheads with the Secretary to the government of the Federation? A political standoff between supporters of your principal, the governor, and supporters of the secretary to the government of the federation. There are those who believe that this is not going too well and it doesn't augur well for the people of the state.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. I want to state this very clearly that whoever want to criticize Reverend Father Hyacinth earlier, the governor of Benue State, is entitled to his or her opinion about the development, the political development as it affects the APC family in Benue State. Like I said the other time, even within the family, there are always squabbles and misunderstanding. It is the ability of that family to resolve such misunderstanding and forge ahead that makes it a united family that anybody can boast of. In Benue State, first of all, you have a governor, you have a state house of assembly that is working with the governor. You have the judiciary. You only have 3 arms of government recognized. That notwithstanding, you still have what you call the party structure, which is the vehicle that drives anyone to power. And the structure is not just limited to the state officials of a party, but also other notable individuals. Thereafter,
it appears your friend has been frozen from there, hoping that maybe you can unmute. Your device seems to be muted.
Unmute this. Unmute. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please go ahead. You were muted at some point.
It's okay, thank you. Now, Hyacinth earlier came into power, and by virtue of the constitution of our party, the APC, he is the leader of the party in the state. And as such, every decision that is supposed to be taken by the party at the state level, he is supposed to be briefed. He is supposed to know about it. And when he came into power, he gave a special recognition to the state secretary, the ESCO of the party. First of all, I said it and I will say it again, he picked the secretary, the state secretary of this party, and made him the chief of staff of the party, of his government. He picked the woman leader of the party and gave her an appointment in his government. He picked the legal advisor of the party at the state level and made him Attorney General of the state. That's the first recognition he gave to the party structure. These people are the representative of this party in his government. Thereafter, within 5 months in office, Badalia called for stakeholders meeting 3 times, 2 times in Government House, and things were discussed. Stakeholders were allowed to express their views. But then, all of a sudden, some people felt he's just a reverend father that has come to be governor, and so he should not have a decision of his own. He should not pick anything as even appointments. He must give them to make appointments as they want, and so he should sit back and look at how government is run as the governor. But then he still gave them the recognition. This stakeholders meeting, anytime we call the stakeholders meeting, he directs them, I'm going to make social appointments, and so you are supposed to make your contribution. Bring the name for me. The names will be brought. But like I said the other time, the headache started coming up when...
Mr. Akula, yet again, I think your device has gone into a mute mode. But let me ask you, and let's get straight to the point. A lot of Nigerians who are aware or who know what is going on know that this friction has been linked between Governor earlier and the SGF, and the supporters of both men are now at loggerheads. And the question will be, to what interest would it be? How can both parties resolve these differences? Is at that level that these bickering or that differences are being established? And those who are criticizing Governor earlier that he's using the power of his office to clamp down on the other, they support the Agada group, who are supposed to link to the SGF. Is it right morally to use his office? That's a question that some of them are asking.
I don't understand what you mean by what they mean by using his office to clamp down. You see, Agada has been suspended. He was suspended by his word, and that suspension subsists. He is suspended, and a caretaker chairman has been brought in to preside over the affairs of the party in the state. And so Agada has no business whatsoever to organize any form of action.
Okay, but yes, I agree. Party. I mean, Mr. Kula, I'm posing a question that I've been asked by your fellow men and women within the APC in your state. And I'm posing this question as to the morality and the justification of what is going on. First and foremost, a calm down on the political gatherings relating to the activities of Mr. Agada and his supporters. There are those who believe that, yes, they have been chased out of the party headquarters, but they've chosen another venue to have a meeting. Do they have a right under the Constitution to meet as citizens of this country? These are the questions they're asking. Suspension of political meetings, is that right morally? Those are the questions they wanted you to answer to. You talk about Constitution, and then you don't have to bring morality in this issue. You see, to every general rule, there's always an exception. Yes, the Constitution permits people to meet, and they permit them to have free gathering. But would people meet during war? Would people still be going to do political meetings when there's a war going on? His Excellency cited an issue of volatile security atmosphere in the state. So if the security atmosphere is volatile, who is it? There's no sane governor anywhere that will permit anybody to meet in for huge gatherings that this is what we're planning. And so remember also, this order was not handed down because people are going to plan to meet with people. No. Remember that a few days ago, today is the 10th day, that security meeting was held in Government House, and thereafter a 14-day ultimatum was given to the armed headers who invaded the state in their numbers to leave. And when these armed headers came in, the security atmosphere of the state got charged. People were not comfortable. It was palpable tension. And so everybody was scared that there will be breakdown of law and order any day, any time. And so the Security Council of the state met, and they put on hold all, even social gatherings, not just political gatherings. And then a 14-day ultimatum was given to these headers to vacate the state or first being forced out. We are still waiting for the ultimatum to elapse. And then people went around, organized them. Why must you organize a meeting at the time we are struggling with the security situation of the state? Why organize at this time? When you talk about morality, why is the morality for somebody who is much, much aware that he's no longer in charge of the party. Two, there's a security situation that's been battled with, and then you decide to organize a huge function, a political function, for that matter, in the state capital. And some of this, Mr. Kula, just for a moment, does the governor feel threatened that the political structure of the party in the state is slipping out of his hands?
Slipping out of his hand, I don't understand, because why would the governor be threatened in the first instance? He is firmly in control as the leader of the party, and he can only direct the party to do the right thing, and that is exactly what he's doing. Somebody was sacked, but suspended by his people. The governor was informed. He upheld that because it is the people that even voted him to be governor that he rose to become the leader of the party. So if the same people will suspend somebody and he will refuse to oblige them the right to enforce that.
But you know that all of this suspension from the word is politically backed. We know that when all of these things happen politically in this country.
Are you saying the people at the world are morons? You think they don't have their conscience, that when they get angry, when they are not happy, when they see that something has been breached? And let me give you an example. Listen, these people are from Obadibolo government. That is a place where somebody, Dan Onje, who was running for Senate, was cheated by this same chairman, according to the evidences he brought out with a petition that he submitted to everybody, including the office of the governor and the National Secretariat. And you think these people should not be angry? They should not Don't you think they have conscience?
So, Mr. Kula, just a moment.
Mr. Kula, yes.
So the fundamental issue here is the well-being, the security, the prosperity of the people of Benue State. The fundamental reason why they voted your principal into office. This political bickering and wrangling in the party is a huge distraction to governance. The question is that deceive oneself or not, the fundamental problem politically that people are seeing is that division between the SGF and young principal, the governor. Are the two men able to come to the table and resolve these issues? Are you able to tell Nigerians that?
Kimberly, I will tell you something. What is happening in Benue is not happening for the first time. Remember, if we are talking about SGF having an issue with His Excellency, the governor of Benue State, the SGF was the governor of Benue State from 1999 to 2003. And then from there to 2007, and you know that. When he was there, what happened? And then after that, Gabriel Susam came into being the governor. He ruled for another 8 years. What happened? After that, Samuel Oton became governor. He ruled for another 8 years. These bickerings have always been there. Now, look at it and look it within. Who are the faces that are consistently, that are the recurrent decimal in this kind of crisis from 1999 to this level? So there's nothing Governor Alia would have done that you don't have seen what you are seeing today, because it has been planned. They have made it to be a culture for the state. And until that is uprooted, we will continue to witness this kind of thing.
So you don't think that there is an end in sight to this crisis?
Of course, there is an end in sight. You see, every political leader has his way of tackling things. Reverend Father Hassan earlier has come with a vision. He's focused quite okay, and he's ready to deliver the goods. As you can see, even with all these things, you hear the praises people were singing, is because people are very, very sensitive about Father Alia, because he has demystified governance in Benue completely. And so what is going to happen is the people will decide, at a point, the people will decide who is their leader and who is delivering the goods for them. It will become obvious, and everybody will know where he or she belongs. And so there's end in sight. It's very simple. It's very simple, because the people are there who brought him into power, and the people are there to decide what they want him to do for them, and not for any other person. Remember, Alia was inaugurated and sworn in as governor, not with any other person. So if he fails, it is his name we'll be talking about. So you don't expect him to go to bed and sleep while people deliberately cook and concoct issues to bring insecurity and all sort of distraction in the state. He is focused, and we are still moving.
All right. Tessa Kula, who is the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Eisen earlier of Benue, said, thank you so much, Tessa, for your time tonight. We were hoping that Dan Homun, who is the Publicity Secretary of the APC, who is said to also be on the other side of the divide, was supposed to join us, but for some reasons we are not able to hear from him tonight. But we've heard from this side. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from Dan and Agada's side next time. Thank you so much, Tessa, for your time tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Let's get to some of the breaking news that we're following for you right here on Channels Television about the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We can report to you that the Central Bank of Nigeria has moved to revoke the licenses of 4,173 bureau de change operators, accusing the affected institutions of failing to observe regulatory provisions. Breaking news for you right now. CBN revokes the licenses of 4,173 BDC operators. The operational license have been revoked. We give you much and detailed report on that at the top of the hour right here on Channels Television. Stay with us, everyone. Let's move swiftly and go into other issues relating to how the federal government has related to the labor. And let me remind you, I showed you this video yesterday, the position of President Bola Tinubu to the protest we saw on Tuesday. Although the NLC did something. They cancelled the day 2 protest But the president doesn't look like he was happy about the position of the Labour. And the president said, look, you guys are not the only voice of the Nigerian people. And this is how the president put it in his own words. Let me remind you of what he said.
The Labour Union should understand that no matter how much we cling to our freedom and rights, to call for strike within 9 months of an administration is unacceptable. If not, maintain peace. You are not the only voice of Nigerians.
That is the position of President Bola Tinubu yesterday before he went to Doha in Qatar. But again, what exactly are the issues here? There is an MOU, 15 items on that MOU. The Labour has accused the government of not being sincere about the implementation of that MOU, which borders on some of the implications of the removal of fuel subsidy on day one of President Bola Tinubu in office. And it has escalated so swiftly. But at some point, when NLC said that it was going on a 2-day warning protest against some of these issues and what it tagged hunger in the land, the TUC came to town to say, we were not informed. You didn't carry us along and we're not going to join. There was a press conference on Monday by TUC saying they won't be joining that protest tonight. Let's speak with the president of the Trade Union Congress, who is also the president of Pengasan, Comrade Festus Osifo joins us live here in our studio in Abuja. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Shehu. Good evening to you. Good evening to Nigerians.
Let me get your reaction to what President Tinubu said.
Yes, first, because I listened to that comment yesterday where he said that we should wait for 2027 and if we want to contest for an election. For us, I could speak for Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. For us, we are not politicians. For us, we are unionists. It is the right to protest is the fundamental right of every single Nigerian. So we don't have issues with protest. When need be, people must exercise their right and people must protest. So in terms of waiting till 2027 to enter into politics, I don't think that is something that we could dabble into because I, as an individual, I'm not a carrying member of any political party. What I'm interested in is the welfare of my members and indeed the entire Nigerian masses. So what the president said, for me, it is alien to us because the right to protest and the right to strike is that of the workers because there are condition precedents. The fact that you are going on strike or you are going on protest, there are things that have led to it. So those fundamental issues must be addressed.
Some of these criticisms or comments about Labour wanting to go into party issues or going into an election or going into a political contest must have, there is a context to it. And there are those who believe in government that whatever the Labour is doing are political tendencies and that your movement or the ideology or some of the things that Labour have done is to frustrate the government because of political interests that have been drawn into this.
Well, like I said, like as I've said earlier, I would respond on behalf of Trade Union Congress. For us, we look at issues decently. We have members that are cut across the senior staff category in the oil. I mean, in the country, from oil and gas to civil service to hospitality and all that. So we look at issues decently. We don't look at political considerations. Politics is not part of what we do. And I can assure you, Shehu, that in everything we do, we don't look at political considerations, but the issues and how they could be resolved in favor of the Nigerian workers and indeed the entire Nigerian masses. So that accusation, for me, it's alien to us.
Unlike the NLC, TUC is not part of Labour Party.
I know. When you say there's a distinction between TUC and even NLC and Labour Party. Like, for example, everywhere in the world, you cannot ask workers not to participate in politics. It's not, it's not there. But what we are saying is that, none of us are the executive members of Labour Party. None of us are executive member of any of the political parties at all beyond Labour. But you know, when an election is coming, you have the right to support a candidate. For example, you could see both Joe Biden and Donald Trump, They are scrambling for the union endorsement in United States today for the election that they are going to hold in November. So those political endorsements will always come. But again, after elections, when governance comes, those things are dropped 100% when the leaders emerge. And we will now be responsible for holding such leaders accountable for any policies that of government that they have brought to bear.
So TUC did not endorse Labour Party in presidential election, did you?
You mean the candidacy of Peter Obi?
Yes.
No, TUC organ formally. No TUC organ formally came out because we did not, because when you say TUC endorsed, it's supposed to be the National Executive Council of TUC, and such thing never happened. So National Executive Council of TUC never had any meeting to endorse any presidential candidate. The presidential candidate, they invited us for conversation. So we were invited, both labor centers, we were invited by Peter Obi. We went there. We were also invited by the current president. Coincidentally, it was all in the same venue. So both centers also went there. Then it was led by Ayuba Waba, president of NLC. Then I was also president of TUC. So we went there for conversations. But formally, no organ of TUC endorsed any political party or candidate.
So we'll take a breather, but when we come back, you'll be telling us why you decided not to follow NLC to that Tuesday protest, and some of the issues raised by the president, that it looks like Labour is planning to hurt the nation by wanting to punish the policies of government by coming after the Tinubu government. We'll be hearing from you after this break. Let's take a moment, everyone. We'll be right back.
For many years, we have secured and beautified your buildings with our security doors. And now, introducing Watson Time German, Israeli, and Turkish doors. Visit any of our factories, reach our distributors nationwide. Think doors. Think Watson Time doors.
Do you know that you can now print all your essential items for events without even having to leave your home? It's the Cast Print Combo Deal for all events.
Yes!
Weddings, conferences, birthdays, burials, etc. Starting from 495,000 Naira only. You get 50 invites, 50 A2 size posters, 50 16-page brochures, 1 large backdrop banner, 1 roll-up banner, 50 jotters with pens, and 50 souvenir carrier bags. Whatever event you're planning, we can adjust to your budget and quantities. Just send your pictures and other information through WhatsApp, and we shall send a design for your approval. Approve your design, and we will produce with super high-quality digital print technology. We can even arrange delivery to your location. Call us now on 0913-156-5016 or 0812-794-9323, or visit our social media pages. Cast Prints, digital printing at super speed.
The Duchess International Hospital opened its doors in October 2021. The mission of the hospital is to reverse medical tourism by delivering the highest standards of care, using the most advanced technology and treatments to give our customers the fastest, most convenient access to the best medical expertise available anywhere in the world. Our objective is to provide precisely that level of service that will encourage individuals to remain in this country and receive the level of healthcare that they require, and to provide that access, of course, at a reasonable and affordable rate. We take particular care here at the Duchess to bring together a combination of the brightest and the best locally, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who are interested in returning either physically or virtually to do very good work at a very high standard for the benefit of our patients here in this country.
The good thing is that we had all international expertise here, all international facilities here, international people working here. Diaspora of Nigeria, which had gone abroad, those people are coming back in with all the knowledge that we've exchanged all across the world, the best practices, the governance mechanism, the clinical governance piece. Everything is coming together in a space which was considered not great in terms of the availability of healthcare.
Access Bank, of course, has been able to provide us with a robust range of products and services that has enabled us to deliver that standard and quality of healthcare that is integral to our mission as an organization. The sheer range of expertise and financial resources they bring to the table as one of the leading banks in Africa has been incredibly significant in supporting us right from inception, and we look forward to sustaining our relationship with them for many more years to come.
President of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Festus Osifo. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. To give us an understanding, you were together with the NLC, the TUC and the NLC, and we refer to all these organs and unions as the organized labor, but you backed out. And there are those who are of the opinion that you sold out.
Wow, Shehu, first, you know, I will come to the issue of backing out or not. First of all, you know, you introduced me as the president of Pengasan as well. So when I came into position as president of Pengasan, so myself and the president of NUPENG that I met 2 years into his tenure, we sat down and we developed relationship on how to work together. That issues of mutual understanding, issues of mutual interest, that what we need to do is that either we call a collective neck together, or the leadership, before we go into any issue, we sit down, we dissect, we understand the issues, and we move together. In the last 4 years, being the president of Pengasan, there is no single issue with NUPENG because we work together seamlessly. When I came in as well in July of 2022, Comrade Ayuba Waba was the president of NLC. Both of us also sat down and we defined how we will work together, and each of us respected the pact. So when Comrade Joe Ajero came in, president of NLC, what happened was that we discovered that there are a lot of discordant tones. So that now led to a meeting. And in that meeting that we had, we both discussed on how we could move forward. We both discussed on how we could interrelate. And two things came out from that meeting. One of them was this, that issues of mutual interest, that both parties will come together, the leadership, we will discuss them, and we will point the way forward. Then we will now go to our respective neck, then inform our respective neck, then neck as well. They can modify each of these, then we progress. Then the second thing that NLC also proposed, the Secretary General of NLC now said that another way we could use in resolving issues like this, issues of mutual interest, is that we will call a joint neck section. So this was in September last year. So we had that understanding. We now said, at the long run, we have to develop an MOU. So we moved on. As we did that agreement in September, when we now got to November, the issues that happened to Comrade Joe Ajero, President NLC in Imo happened. You remember I was in your program. So when that issue happened, we activated the agreement that we reached between myself and my NAC members, National Administrative Council members, as well as the leadership of NLC, as led by the Deputy President, the President of Maritime, President of NUT, President of Medical and Health. Three of them, wonderful individuals. We sat down together and we defined what should be done to react to that brutalization. That led to a joint neck. We had a joint neck, we took a decision, then we now went on protest initially, then later we now had that 2-day strike, if you could remember. So that our discussion worked. But in this case, Shehu, both of us came together. We issued an ultimatum. The 14 days that was in that ultimatum was the brainchild of TUC. We were the ones. In fact, I specifically requested that we have to add ultimatum to it. So that ultimatum was our brainchild. So we issued the joint statement. After issuing the joint statement, naturally, when you issue an ultimatum, what you need to do is that if you issue a 14 days, you wait. After 11 days, you will now check and see, have they complied to it? If not, then the leadership was supposed to now meet, review where we are. Then after then, take a decision we call our collective neck. But We were shocked. We did not even know that NLC had called NEC 6 days into this ultimatum. So all we saw, the same way you saw it in the media as a breaking news, that was how we saw it. We said no, that this is not in line with the agreement that we reached in September, that we activated in November, when Comrade Joe Ajero was brutalized in Imo. So when that now happened, we felt that no, this is not the way to go, because we had an agreement. So after that, we now wrote a letter to them. That what happened? Initially, we spoke on phone. They said that no, that this is not about the ultimatum, that is just to protest hunger. But we said that we've already agreed that whenever we have issues that concerns both, that we have to synergize first before anything. We now also learned that the NEC of NLC, the mandate that was given was that after this NEC meeting, go and synergize with TUC. That was a directive from the NEC of NLC that the members of the NEC told us. But at the end, no synergy, nothing. They went to the media, made the announcement. So for us, that was
the word on the street is that TUC, by your leadership, has sold out.
That is what I have explained to you now. That in this, you know, you said something earlier, so that we opted out.
It's not the case that you sold out. It's the case that you were not carried along.
I'll just explain exactly what happened to you now. You see, when you have, when you say somebody opted out from a process, it means that the person was in before. It means that there was an agreement to do something. When there is an agreement to do something, at the last minute, you will not say, I'm not doing again. That is opting out. Then you can use the word sold out. But in this scenario, there wasn't any agreement to do anything. We did not have any conversation. Nobody even mentioned it to us that this is the direction to go. That conversation never took place. So as long as that conversation never took place, we never opt out of anything. If there was an initial agreement that let's go for protest, then we now say we are not going for that protest. You could call that opt out, you could call that sold out, you could call that anything. But in this scenario, there was no understanding at all. In fact, there was no discussion that could have even led to any understanding.
So there were meetings on Sunday and on Monday with the federal government, hoping to be able to stop what that street demonstration. Was there any lesson that could be learned from those meetings that show that government is committed to aligning or fulfilling or executing the spirit and the letters or the 15-line item in the MOU?
Yes, Sheung, you know, initially when we, the reason that TUC pushed that there must be an ultimatum at the initial stage that led to the ultimatum that was issued on the 9th of February was this. When we signed that agreement in October 2nd precisely, so there are low-hanging fruits in that agreement. There are things that government should do. So we kept watching them. It got to December, we kept reminding them. Because what we do, we don't just sign an agreement and we go and sleep. We sign an agreement and we keep pushing the relevant organs of government and the relevant institutions to act. So what now happened was that after we pushed, something now, by January, the Minister of Labour came to the TUC's office to pay us a New Year courtesy visit. When she came, we told her that this is going to snowball into an issue, that this must be resolved immediately. So now, she now said, what are the issues? We now said the issue of the wage award. It is just 1 month that was paid. Remember, the agreement was signed October 2nd, but wage award was supposed to be backdated to September. So only September was paid. November, December, October, November, December, and January was not paid. So a lot of things in that MOU was not done, most especially the low-hanging fruit, before we issued the ultimatum. But immediately we issued the ultimatum, characteristics of government. They now started running from pillar to post. So that was when, within that 1 or 2 weeks, before I came to this studio, and even yesterday, I had a conversation with the president of Association of Senior Civil Servants. Association of Senior Civil Servants is it's an affiliate of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, responsible for civil servants between grade 7 and director cadre. So I asked him the issue of wage award, where are we? He confirmed to me that within that 2 weeks that they have paid up to January. Then also, the president of Statutory Corporations, that is also an affiliate of TUC. So I asked him, President, where are we on this subject? He confirmed that some people have received in December and January. What we now said was that why will government wait for us to issue ultimatum before they will do what they've agreed to do.
So the ultimatum worked?
Yes, to some extent. For example, visitation to refinery. Initially, I mean, we said this is a low-hanging fruit, that we can visit the refinery and ascertain the status, except you are hiding some things. They now told us that, okay, we can. So within the 14 days lifespan, they sent an invite for us to visit the refinery. So because I'm also the president of Pengasan, so I have a lot of information about the refinery. I recused myself and I asked the deputy president too of TUC to lead the delegation. So a 3-man delegation from TUC went to the refinery to ascertain the status of maintenance. Then the issue of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. Shehu, you remember that we led a protest in September last year in Lagos regarding the issues bordering on Ritian. When we led that protest, there were a lot of issues that came up. So it was part of the MOU. And as we speak today, Shehu, that particular one has been fulfilled. The office of Ritian has been opened. Ritian that was hitherto banned in Lagos, they have allowed Ritian to operate. The executive has been instituted. And as we speak, that particular subject has also been resolved. But there are some contentious areas. For example, government told us that as we are today, that they have they are subsidizing fertilizer. This we cannot prove 100%. Because what we have asked is, okay, at best, what they can do is to show us documentation that they have subsidized fertilizer. But the proof to that, we will not be able to establish it. Then the issue of CNG, as of today, government has explained to us all the things that they have done. But we told them that we don't care of all those things that you have done. What we are interested in is to see those buses. What we are interested in is to see the kids, because it's not for them to tell you that they are on their way, procurement processes and all that. We are not really interested in that.
Are you at home with the timeline the federal government is giving as to when the buses will arrive?
I know. Our expectation was that the buses should have arrived before the end of the year.
But they said, the minister was there and said, look, these buses are not on the shelf. And it's not easy for you to order. The manufacturers say that these buses will not arrive until several months afterwards. Do you agree with that position?
Shehu, before you bring about government policies, these are some of the things you should look at. Okay, I want to remove subsidy. I want to bring exchange rates together. What are the fallout on all these? These are the things that we were shouting at the beginning that government should have done before going ahead with some of these policies. But as pressure group, if government tells us that they are bringing those buses in May, we will tell them no, that the buses must come now. Because our responsibility to pressure them and to get them to act.
But then, let's look at it. With what we have now, the ultimatum has expired. It's past 14 days now.
Yes, correct.
So what is the position of organized labor?
Yes, so on that, before I come to that, Shehu, there's a question that has been coming up. What was done was in national interest. Yes. The direction that we always like to provide in TUC, and I will tell you one thing that we have done in Trade Union Congress of Nigeria that a lot of people may not necessarily be aware of. The end of all these is how do we end the hardship? That is the result. That is the end. To achieve this, there are several means to achieving that. One of the means could be protest. One of the means could be strike. One of the means could be conversation, dialogue. One of the means could be meetings and pushing. So it's a toolbox. So you pick all these depending on what will work. For you to, I've told people, we have had institutions that went on strike in Nigeria for 8 months to 1 year. What was the result that was achieved? Because the measurement of the success of the tool that you deploy, it depends on the result that you have achieved. For example, you know that at a particular time, when Naira was devalued, when they devalued Naira, we were watching. We saw that the price of AGO was moving. The price of AGO was going to 1,000 Naira plus. And we knew that PMS, being that government said that they have devalued, the price of PMS will also move. So part of what we did, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, was that we met with some representatives in government and we suggested something to them. That there are things that you can do necessarily, that it may not really bring back subsidy, but your accounting book will not necessarily carry subsidy. So they asked what was that. We now suggested to them that the Naira that they are currently giving to you is at a particular exchange rate. And that exchange rate today has been everybody says today that Naira is undervalued. Even CBN governor in his monetary policy committee meeting also said that Naira is undervalued. We now said, For you to say Naira is undervalued, it means that there will be a fair value for Naira, the real value for Naira. So for us, we checked all simulations internationally and locally. Right. We realized that the real value of Naira is about 650 Naira to $1. So we now suggested that, okay, government, why can't you be allowing NNPC to assess dollar at about 650 Naira per dollar? You are not subsidizing. That is the real value of Naira. And today, that is exactly what is happening today.
We need to close
we
now.
Still buy PMS. That is the reason we still buy PMS at about 600 Naira plus, depending on the part of the country that you are. So that is a very big plus of one of the ways, one of the tools TUC are deployed to be able to achieve that.
We need to go now. I just have 30 seconds or less. I'm being told in my ears now that I need to go. I'm saying, what is next now after the expiration of the 14 days?
Yes. So for us, what is left clearly is those issues that we have put out there. They said that the issue about AGO and diesel, that the VAT for 6 months, that they have also achieved that. It is left for us to look at all these issues, and they will not take a decision. But in all these, we looked at it that the issues in that MOU can no longer, that MOU was since October. A lot of things there can no longer solve the problem today. So as TUC, we sat together, we carried out some research, and we now came up with a 15-point solution that we think could work. And this, we're also going to impress it on government. So beyond what is there in the MOU, we are also going to push for this new 15-term item, these new 15 solutions that we propose for government to implement. Knowing that when implemented, it will solve the plight and reduce the plight of Nigerians, so that the result, it is not about the tool you deploy, so that the result at the end of the day would be better off for Nigerians. Thank you so much. So
90% implementation is not correct?
No, it's not correct for us.
All right. Well, we need to leave it at that because we're totally out of time. Thank you so much, President of the TUC, Comrade Festus Osivo. Thank you so much for talking to us. Of course, NLCs too have been reacting to what President Tinubu has said. And they said that, President Tinubu, we are not after your job, but they said the government should be true and be sincere in the implementation of the letters and the spirit of the MOU. That's how we anchor in the program tonight. Thank you so much indeed, everyone, for watching some of the breaking news that are scrolling on your screen. We'll give you details on top of the hour. Stick with us right here on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale. I'll see you on Sunday, 8 p.m. God bless Nigeria.
Hello. Welcome to Democracy 101 in 5. On this compact yet insightful show, we focus on how to make democracy work for you. I am Cynthia Mbamalu. Democracy 101 in 5 is an initiative of Yaga Africa with the support of the FCDO. Our focus on the show today is on the constitutionally backed roles of the Nigerian Armed Forces. What part do they play in a democratic setting like ours? We got some answers from the street. Watch.
One of the major roles of the armed forces is to protect lives and properties.
They protect us. They also fight for the country, the nation.
One of the roles of the soldiers are protecting of lives and properties.
The Constitution in sections 130 subsection 2 establishes the president as the head of state, chief executive of the Federation, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federation. This places significant responsibilities on the president regarding the nation's defense and security. Sections 217 provides that the armed forces consist of an army, navy, air force, and such other branches of the armed forces of the Federation as may be established by an act of the National Assembly. It also provides the legal basis for the existence of the armed forces and outlines their purposes. Now, let's talk about those functions as spelled out